ठीक आहे मला नाव त्यांचं पाठवा करूया.
TOEFL score ideally required is 90 out of 120 with not less than 18, and this is a 3 hours examination. Similarly, IELTS, which is widely accepted across the globe, even in the US and Canada, because a lot of students have confusion if American and Canadian universities accept TOEFL or only IELTS. So the good news is almost all the universities across America and Canada accept TOEFL, accept IELTS. And if you can see, the score requirement is 6.5 with no individual band less than 6 hours. Less than 6, the time duration is 3 hours. We have one more examination, which is PT, Pearson PT, which has come up very popularly nowadays. So the marks required is 58. The time duration is 3 hours, and the total marks out of the PT is ideally 60 out of 90. So it's a 90 marks examination, and the time duration is 3 hours. Then Duolingo, where you require at least 105 to 110 scores out of 160. The time duration is 45 minutes. The validity of all these exams is 2 years. So if you are in your third year, or if you have started your third year, or if you are in your fourth year, if you started commence your fourth year, you need to please try to see that you get a very good score. So try preparing for these examinations. Another important, this was the language requirement. So all these exams, TOEFL, IELTS, Duolingo, this will check your English language proficiency. Though we speak good English, we need to provide evidence of these examinations that yes, we are capable of studying English and our English is up to a very acceptable marks. Then the next requirements is the GRE and GMAT. So a lot of you people may have some information about GRE and GMAT. So we'll see that as well. Now GRE is required for MS programs, and 300 plus is a very good score, which we can ideally try to see that for good university. So here we are not talking about something low ranked university. We are targeting the top ranking universities. Okay, so we require very good scores for MS programs. A lot of engineering students like you are interested for MS programs in engineering and different disciplines. Then comes the GMAT. Now GMAT is purely for MBA aspirants, and ideally score is 550 plus is required. Okay, and the validity of these exams is 5 years. Australia, New Zealand, UK, for them this may not be mandatory, but it's a variable factor. It's a university requirement, so we need to check what the university requires, or whether your chosen university requires a GRE or a GMAT, IELTS or TOEFL or PT, and accordingly we can start the work on that. Another important aspects, this was about the entry requirement. The second part where the students get confused is the documents. What are the documents, or which type of the university for the admissions? And what we have seen is at the last moment students start running around here and there, and things are not in their favor. So a proper planning is required, and that is why today we are sharing with you what type of documents will be required. So transcripts and mark sheets right from 12th standard and your bachelor's degree, all semesters is required. Okay, so you need to keep a track of everything. Your WES, now WES depends on the university. Now WES is World Education Service. It's these scores are accepted by, it's not a score, it is an equivalence examination, not examination, assessment, equivalence assessment of your Indian qualifications as per the US and Canada standards. Because ideally in India, our bachelor's degree is 3 years, and in the US and Canada, the bachelor's degree is 4 years. For engineering students, again, this is not a problem because your engineering degree is 4 years usually. But for the diploma students, it's always preferred that they do the WES. Again, it's a university requirement. So not all universities require you to have a WES, but if the universities require, then yes, we have the mechanisms and tools to guide you how to get your WES. Letters of recommendation, that is very famous, we call it LOR in short form. So we require at least 3 for the US. The statement of purpose. Investing all years for that particular program in that particular university. You also need to highlight your plans upon course completion. Then the score reporting, followed by the financial documents. Very important if you're self-funded or if you're taking a bank loan. Sponsorship letter from your sponsors. Number of sets, very important. A lot of students is how many sets do I need to keep. So we ideally, say the number of sets plus one. Plus one is in case of emergency or in case, you need to have one set in handy so that at the last moment, if required, you don't have to run around anywhere. So for that, you need to have all these documentation ready with you. Let's go to the next. We'll see the Ivy Leagues. Now, these are the universities, these are the dream universities of all the aspirants. And we do have a mechanism how to get entry into these universities. So you see Harvard, Penn, Stanford, Dartmouth, Cornell. These are some of the Ivy League universities. And it's a dream to study in these universities. Okay. Why is it so? Let us see that. They are some of the oldest and the famous universities in the US, and many of you are aware of these names. They are not new to all of you. They're located mostly in the northeastern part of the America. It's known for the business schools, and lots of other professional programs are also available there. Tuition fees are the highest in the country, and admission is also highly competitive. So it's not that because you have the ability to pay, you can get admission. No, you're wrong. So you need to fulfill all the criteria because admissions is highly competitive. And you can see the names they are listed. Yale, Princeton, okay. So these should be your aims basically. Next, types of courses offered. So a lot of students, because we follow the British pattern of education, we are not aware about the pattern of education followed in Canada or in USA. So here we'll like to have some info on that. So associate degree, it's in the US or the Canada. So after your HSC, when you enroll for a graduation program, that's a bachelor's program, the moment you complete 2 years of your academics, you get an associate degree, which is awarded by the community college. Okay. Now, after this associate degree, you can transfer to any of the leading universities of your choice, provided you fulfill the requirements. Okay. Another important factor is that the community college is a college which has less tuition fees, so it's more affordable, and a lot of students can avail the benefits because it's less fees. So less fees, and in that, if you are getting good scores, your scores can be transferred for the 2 years further to top ranking universities. So you can do an associate degree from any small college, and subject to your good grades, you can gain admissions in top ranking universities in the US and Canada. Diploma programs, average duration is 1 to 2 years with or without internship. Now that you need to check. It's the program requirements and the program duration. Everything is mentioned in that, but the diploma average duration is 1 to 2 years. It can be with internship or without an internship. Bachelor's degree is commonly known as undergrad degree. Now in the US, usually the bachelor's is of 4 years duration. Engineering students will not have any problem because anyhow your course is of 4 years duration. Even if you have done a diploma and you are progressing to a degree, your program will be of 4 years duration. So this is a good thing for the engineering students. Master's degree, the duration is of 2 years for US, Canada, and European countries. Examples are you can have nomenclature like Master of Arts, Master of Science, MS programs, very famous. MS in IT, MS in Engineering, Master of Engineering, okay. And for other programs like Masters in Management, or you have LLM, the duration is 1 year for Australia, New Zealand, and other countries as well. So there's a This duration is variable as per the country and as per the university, with or without internship. So this also you should take into account when you are choosing a particular type of university. Then comes the doctorate program, or which we call it as a PhD. Okay. So the duration may range from 3 to 5 years, and of course, apart you need to have a very strong research proposal, as well as you need to have a lot of publications done as well. So we at InterAdvise Education definitely have seen that we have guided many students for the PhDs, and they are out there with flying colors, still in touch with us, and very happy at that. So the standardized test GRE, GMAT again, is only for the US for the admissions. So let's move on to the next slide now. Very important. Now, I believe many of you are engineering graduates, maybe in your second year, third year, or somewhere, some people in your final year. So we are targeting about the master's programs. So let us see the requirements. US, Canada universities, they require 16 years of education, that is 12 plus 4. So all the engineering students in India do qualify or do fulfill this criteria. Now, other countries accept 15 years of education, that is 12 plus 3. Now, we have discussed earlier about which are those other countries like Australia, Singapore, New Zealand, United Kingdom, okay, because we follow the same education pattern. Academic percentage, okay, 58% and above. So, a student scoring 58% and above with minimum backlogs, then okay, he is still eligible as far as the academic percentage is considered. Now, understand one factor: we are targeting good universities, my friend. So this is the bare minimum, right? I think you should get something better than this. Then Australia, New Zealand, UK, GRE, GMAT is not mandatory in many of the universities. So this is a good news for those of you who are planning to study in these countries like UK, Australia, New Zealand, and those you can always escape your GRE or GMAT. But ideally, it is strongly recommended that you give this exam because it will enhance your chances of a scholarship and of course the candidature as well. Now, acceptable scores of standardized tests, that is, we have seen GRE, GMAT. So let us see so any score about 300 plus is understood as a good acceptable score in this good university, the top ranked universities of thought. A GMAT score of 550 plus is considered to be good for the management students. So for those of you who are aspiring to do an MBA, my friends, think of a GMAT. Okay. For those of you who are aspiring for MS programs, think of a GRE and see the scores. The more you score, the better your chances are in these top ranking universities. Now you see your TOEFL scored 80 and IELTS 6.5 bands overall, with no individual band less than 6. So this again is an important factor that your scores should not be less than 6.5. So ideal target should be 7 and above. So this is what a lot of students should work in that direction. Other factors, a lot of students say, okay, I do have all these things, but what happens, what next? So next is how do your profile will be built. You may have participated in a lot of extracurricular activities throughout your academic career, or you may have done some social work, volunteer work. So you can accumulate all these things. Of course, there should be a documentary evidence, and you need to highlight that strongly as well. Our experts will guide you at every stage. Documentation should also include such as your resume, your detailed resume mentioning all your skills, your achievements, letter of recommendation from the faculties, and the purpose. They are very crucial and they have to be drafted very effectively. Now, this is where our team expertise comes into the picture. So we guide you for this process, letters of recommendation, and again the statement of purpose. There are certain exceptions. Let's see those. So 15 years, ideally a lot of students say, okay, we have a graduation, so 15 years. So yes, in a lot of universities, 15 years of education is acceptable, provided the institution in India is NAC A rated, okay. So this is one of the important factors. So I guess all of you are aware what's NAC and will not go too much deep into that. Another mode is best assessment. World Education Services, that's a body, and it determines your equivalence of the qualifications as per the US and Canadian norms. We'll guide you for that as well. WES assessment, so your grades and equivalent to the American or the Canadian standards will be converted, and accordingly the university or the institution will be able to assess your candidature for the same. 3 years of bachelor's degree acceptable for admissions into Masters of Computer Science. So I believe that solves much of your problem because you guys, many of you are from computer science background, and MBA for those of you who are aspiring for the MBA program. Also, there are pathway programs to field universities as well. So in case there is, oh, what's a pathway program? Let me just briefly explain to you. There is a university requirement, okay, and there is a student profile. So lot of cases what happens, the student is not able to fulfill the criteria of the university, then what to do? Then there is a pathway program. So this pathway program helps the student to bridge the gap between the requirements of the university and his candidature. And upon doing the pathway program, he can embark on the program, his main program in the dream university of his choice. So that's one more thing about the pathway program, which is very important, and our team of experts will definitely guide you for that. There are universities who offer admissions without GRE or GMAT. So, okay, but these are very few in number, and don't expect the top ranking universities to do that. So if your aim is top ranking universities, please do not escape GRE or GMAT. Okay. Students with less IELTS TOEFL score, again, then we have a pathway program for you as well. So there's nothing to get disheartened. Okay, you can just do a pathway program with English as second language, maybe one program of 2 to 3 months additional you need to do before embarking on your main program in your university. So sometimes students get less scores in IELTS or TOEFL, so they also have this solution. No need to reappear for your IELTS or TOEFL. You can follow the pathway program and still reach your dream university. So these are some of the things which, entry requirements for masters. So we have told you about the requirements, and if you are not fulfilling, how to make yourself eligible by academically as well as by language. Okay, let's come to the next. Grading systems. A lot of students are confused here. So we have seen the pointers. So in India, we follow the percentage system. Of course, nowadays a lot of institutions are going for the GPA scale or CGPA. But to make, to have much clear your confusion, we have provided a chart. So if your scores fall in this category, you can find out how much is the GPA as per the US standards. Okay. So you see, ideally 60 to 70%, that is 3.33. So this and above, this should be your target, my friend, so that we can think of some good universities. And still better, then definitely 3.66 and above is ideal for a top ranking universities in the United States. So quickly have a look at this grading system and see that if you are fulfilling the criteria, where do you stand? And this is important for even determining your scholarships as well, right? So good GPA is very important. For those of you having backlogs, nothing to worry. Engineering students, this is something very good news only for you. That is the STEM degree. So in America, certain programs like science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, this is called STEM. So these degrees, the American government and the Canadian government have identified that they'll be requiring a lot of people in this type of skill sets. So they have started the STEM category. So the graduates' employability in the STEM categories, which you all are a part of it because you all are engineering students. So you have a very high demand across all the sectors in the US as well as the Canada. So STEM degrees, they have interdisciplinary hands-on educational approach. So it's more of practical oriented approach, and where you put up with the companies to do an internship as well as more of a research oriented as well. So computer scientists, engineers, and all the professionals, they are the top form of the STEM fields. Then STEM students will develop important transferable skills like problem solving. So for example, every year Google, Microsoft, these people, they hire all the STEM students as interns or trainees. They train them on their system. Of course, you can expect some stipendary allowance as well. And for those of you who are performing well and upon your course completion, you can look out for employment with them as well, right? So STEM offers you the ability to acquire the skills and ability required for hands-on experience to solve the real-life problems of the world, right? Then this also helps you to develop your communication skills, adaptability, research, and other initiatives, and numerous job opportunities and higher salaries. Now, when a student who has acquired, top ranking universities experience of academics, and plus coupled with a STEM category of work experience, he is the most preferred candidate for hiring in the United States of America or Northern Canada. Other benefits of STEM degrees. Of course, other countries like Australia, New Zealand, UK, Canada, there also these type of skills are in demand, right? Now, other benefits vary now in each country. For example, in the US, all the students have the right to stay and work for 1 year. This period is called the OPT. So a lot of you may have heard about OPTs and CPTs, right? So OPT is optional practical training. So this is required because whatever the theoretical knowledge you have acquired during your studies, put into actual practice by working in any industry in your, of course, it should be related to your stream. So the government has allowed you OPT for 1 year, okay? So you'll have hands-on experience and you can expect to get paid during this experience as well. And further, the international STEM graduates are allowed to extend this OPT period by 2 years only in the US. That makes it the US most favorable destination for engineering graduates because 1 plus 2, so total 3 years, my friends, you have an opportunity to put your knowledge into practice and to get paid for that. So 3 years, even if I calculate on an average of $60,000 to $70,000 multiplied by 3, you have recovered and you have saved a lot of money, my friends. That's very important. But of course, hard work is involved in the process, so don't escape that, right? Now, important factors students ask: when, what, deadlines. Let's see that. So ideally, your coaching, the coaching for your entrance exam should start ideally in June, July, and August. So these 3 months you are putting it. Coaching, study, and appear for the GRE, GMAT, SAT. Now SAT, many of you, it is not applicable because if you are already looking for the master's program, SAT is not for you. Then GRE or GMAT, you can see. The coaching study should, you see, it involves the proper planning. Now, why we have put all these facts and figures in front of you is because a lot of students say, after results, we will decide. My friend, once you are stepping in your 3rd year of bachelor's in engineering, please listen to me carefully. Stepping into 3rd year of your bachelor's in engineering, and you have decided, I want to study abroad in the US or Canada, please start preparing for your GRE, GMAT, even for your IELTS for that matter. Because the results and everything, it takes time for you to understand those exams and to score good, because it's not just to appear for the exams, you also need to score good marks, my friends, okay? Because that will put you in the top ranking universities. So ideally, you appear for these exams in the month of September, which is shown there on the screen. Results will be out in the month of October. You start your application process in the month of October itself. Some students, those who are very confident, they don't wait for October, they start ideally in the mid of August or somewhere in the first week of September. The fall intake deadlines are in November onwards till May. So from November till May, don't wait for even December or Jan, because the earlier you apply, the more chances for scholarship and the brighter chances for admission. Don't be the last person to apply. Then you'll get your I-20s, which is called as offer letter from the university between March to June. Visas you can expect between May to July, and you can fly to the US in mid of August somewhere, so you can start your program in September as per the schedule. Let's see the time schedule for the spring intake. For those of you who cannot make it to the September for whatever reason, let's see that. Coaching should start ideally in December, Jan or Feb. I'll prefer December because it gives some time for you to prepare as well. And then prepare and appear for GRE and GMAT or SAT, depends again. Then it should be in the month of March. Results can be out in the month of April. And start your application process once your results are out. Okay. So that again is very, very important. Hang on. Hello. Okay. So spring intake deadlines from July till October, I-20s from October to December, visas from November to December, and you fly in the US in month of Jan to start your program in the month of Feb. We'll see the next slide. For the UK, English proficiency coaching start in the month of April, exams in May, application to be started again in April, because I'm sure that you will be definitely benefited by the IELTS coaching we are providing. And of course, you can fly to the United Kingdom in the month of August, provided you get your visa in July. For the UK again, for the spring intake, you can see the details there. Coaching should start, in the month of August. Exams should be in the month of September. Application should start in the month of August again. Offer letter by September. Visas should be in the month of November, and ideally you should fly to the United Kingdom in the month of December. So this is a proper time frame schedule for those who are aspiring for the UK. Very, very important. Now we have seen the process for US, Canada, and UK. And apart from UK, Australia and New Zealand, again, they are similar because Australia, New Zealand, and United Kingdom, they have a similar pattern of education, including Singapore as well. So even if you're targeting this country, it's will for the UK system of pattern. Okay. Very important. Lot of students don't know whom to approach, how to approach. So inter-advised education.
Excuse me, Amol, sorry to disturb you. Amol?
Yes.
Yeah, Zarna is here. I'm glad to welcome her. Zarna, are you there? She is the country manager of London South Bank University, and now I request Zarna to please take the charge of the session and start your presentation.
Okay, all right. That's okay if you want to finish off with the current presentation. I don't mind waiting for 5-10 more minutes. That's okay.
Amol, can you finish in 2-3 minutes?
Yes, sir. We'll finish. In fact,
just keep this
the last slide
and go ahead. Yes.
Yeah. This may be the last slide. I'm sorry for that. So, very important, students, about the services. Counseling is totally free and unbiased counseling because we are aiming for the top ranking universities. Documentation, what's required from the university's perspective, from the visa's perspective, everything will be provided. Apart from that, we also provide in-house coaching for TOEFL, IELTS, GRE, SAT, and even GMAT. We do the profile assessment. Now, this is the differentiating factor, friends. We do your entire profile assessment and try to provide you options of different universities where you will be eligible. Okay. We help you for your application processing. Very important scholarship guidance. Many of our students have availed scholarship benefits from the university because of our expert guidance, and thanks to Kamendra sir for that. Financial guidance, visa application. So this is handled by our team. And not only that, we coach you for the interview as well, the visa interview. So what type of questions you can expect from the visa officer and how to respond to them confidently so that you come out with a visa in your passport, as simple as that. Also, this doesn't end here because we also make arrangements for your accommodation abroad, airport pickup and drop assistance. And there also, because you'll be going to a totally new country, you don't know anyone over there. So we are aware of all these facts and factors. So while you're in India, you will get all these things. So at the airport, you know who is going to come and pick you up, okay, where you're going to stay. So you don't have to worry about anything. So our management believes at InterAdvice, believes in providing hassle-free services to all the students, okay, irrespective of whichever country you want to go. Okay, and then also it is not the end. Even after your studies, we will help you for your visa extensions, or you want to switch out to the visa, or you want to take admissions for any other program, right? So these are our services, which I feel that we have covered in detail. Now over to you, Kamendra sir. I guess I have finished from my end over here, and I'm sure that a lot of students or those who are attending this session will contact us after the session, wherever the respective branch is, to the nearest branch, and we can give us a chance to serve them in a better way to achieve their dream destination goals. Thank you very much, everyone, for your kind attention.
Amrita, please remove the screen so that Zarna will share her screen. Yeah, once again, welcome Zarna. She is the country manager of London South Bank University in London, UK. And she will add the value and she will present about the London South Bank University programs, criteria, and she will also speak about the COVID-19 situation and about the start dates of the program. Welcome Zarna, please start.
Thank you, Kamendra. Thank you so much.
Thank
Amol, that was like a really good presentation, and I'm sure students must have learned a lot about US, Canada, UK, and other
Thank you very much for the
destinations for
compliments. I'm
studies.
sure you'll have fantastic time ahead with you as well. Thank you.
So I will talk about UK and London South Bank University to be specific. So any questions you guys might have, we will talk about why you guys should choose London or UK as a destination, and then LSBU will talk about the criteria that Kamendra mentioned or how we are taking it and stuff like that. So won't take a lot of your time. We will have more time for question and answer because I'm sure a lot of you might have a lot of questions to answer. I'll start with sharing my screen. So I have a small presentation. I hope you guys can see my screen now.
Yes,
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 we can see.
yes, we can.
Okay. So, yeah, my name is Zarna. I'm sure you guys already know that. I'm country manager for London South Bank University. We are situated in Zone 1 Central London. So, every year, more than 500,000 students choose London or choose UK as destination to study. And the UK education system is very famous and internationally recognized. So we do have 3 years or 4 year bachelor's degree, depending upon your choice. 3 years bachelor is standard. If you choose to study internship or not study but do internship, which makes the master's 2 years, then the program can be of 4 years. So there will be 3 years study and then internship, which makes the bachelor degree of 4 years. All the university before a couple of years, a lot of universities have introduced 2 year masters in which there is 1 year study and then there is 1 year of internship. So LSBU, we also have 1 or 2 programs which offers 1 year masters, like 1 year studies and 1 year internship, which makes the masters 2 years. But other than that, all other masters are 1 year. Now, in terms of programs, so a lot of specialized programs you can get in UK universities as compared to other countries. So, if we just talk about LSBU, we have more than 350 active programs to offer from. So, a lot of specialization. Now, if you have done like I know all of you are engineering students. So, if anybody from civil engineering background wants to study further programs. So we will have a lot of options like construction project management, civil engineering, architecture. If you want to move from engineering to business, then also we have a lot of programs like accounting and finance, HR, marketing, MBA, international business management, entrepreneurship. So a lot of specialization is available for each and every student, or you can say each and every uh, area of studies. So London has been voted the best city for the students in 2018 QS Best City rankings. So now this survey is based on the employment prospects, student experience, and diversity. So that is how London makes you global, is because London is home to a lot of multinational companies. In the chances for you to get the job during the studies and even after the studies is much higher than any other cities in UK. The student experience, of course, because if you talk to anybody and if you tell them that I'm going to UK, they might not know England, Wales, Northern Ireland, and stuff like that, but they will definitely know London. So London is kind of a world in itself. So it's very famous that way, and a lot of students choose it as destination of study. Okay, moving forward to London South Bank University. So LSBU, that is the short form that we call it LSBU, is centrally located in Zone 1 of Central London. I'll show you the map and you will realize how. I'll just show it actually. So the green dot that you can see here, right here, is LSBU's campus. We are right next to House of Parliament, Buckingham Palace, so all the places that London is famous for. It very close to the university. The Shard is here, so this will be the London. This is the London Bridge and then the Tower Bridge. So everything is very close to the university. That makes the chances for you to get the part-time job is really high. and also the experience that you get for, like, you will get real London experience as far as I can tell. Other than the campus, so this whole triangle is the campus. Though we are in Zone 1, Central London, our whole campus is together. And we also have accommodation options in Zone 1. So this blue dots that you can see here, these four are the accommodation houses that we have. Now, it's not compulsory for students to live on campus. If you have friends, family, and you want to live with them, it's completely fine. But if you don't have anybody and wants to stay on campus, then we do have options available. Right, I think I am going in the wrong direction. Okay. Other than the location, the second point is employability. So LSBU has been awarded University of the Year for graduate employment in 2018 and 2019. So that is twice in a row that we have been awarded University of the Year for graduate employment. That actually shows that we are good at what we do. We know that any student who chooses to study in university, be it bachelor's or master's degree, the main objective is to find a job, or if not a job, then start their own business, but start working afterwards. And that's what our main focus is, the employability. Now, there are a lot of factors that why our employability is really good. And the main factor, or the main reason, is what I believe is our professors, our teachers. So they have really good industry connections. Most of our professors have been working in the industry, in respective industries, for 20, 30 years. So they do their bachelor's, master's, and their PhD, and then they work. Then they come back to the university for teaching. So they bring in a lot of industry experience, a lot of industry connections that helps our students in finding internships, in getting the part-time job in their relevant field, or even sometimes the full-time job. So that is the reason why I would say our employability rate is really, really good. Now, we have also been awarded Enterprising University of the Year in 2016, and then after that, that award actually stopped. So I think we are holding this award for the rest of our life. Now, we got this award again because of a lot of reasons, but the main reason that I think is because we are home for more than 90 running businesses on campus. So we have rented space to a lot of startups, a lot of companies that is looking for a space in Zone 1. Because of our location, we are very centrally located, as I showed in the map. It attracts a lot of companies, the small scale companies, which otherwise cannot afford place in that area. So we give them the space, and in return, we expect them to help our students in a lot of ways. So if there is any student who wants to do internship with a startup and wants to understand each and every aspect of a business, then the chance is there for them. And I would say more than 20% of our alumni are also business holders. So that, and then they come back to the university with their alumni in the alumni events and stuff, and they bring in a lot of expertise that way. All our education is very, very practical. So we don't have a lot of I would say in-class education, as in you just don't have to study. So theory is, of course, is there, but the important one. So when it comes to engineering, we understand that how important it is. The practical education, like, is really, really important. So the equipments that we have, we will talk about that particular in the labs and everything that we have when we will come to the School of Engineering. I'll show you some pictures as well, and then we'll talk about the facilities that way. Affordability, I'll talk about that in the tuition fee section. Okay, so who we are, who LSBU is. We established in 1892, so currently we are 128 years old university. Though we are old university, that doesn't mean that our infrastructure is old, our facilities are old. We have invested over 45 million pounds in our campus. So the facilities that we have is state-of-the-art facilities, and very, very developed in terms of infrastructure. As I mentioned, that most of our programs are industry standard, industry accredited. So for example, if you're applying for architecture, all our architectural programs are accredited by RIBA, which is Royal Institute of British Architecture. If you're applying for maybe accounting, then our programs are accredited by ACCA. So that way, most of our programs are accredited by the professional bodies. this helps you in a way that after completion of your program, if you want to be part of that particular professional body, then you will be exempted from the lot of foundation papers. All our engineering programs are actually accredited by the industry. So that is again another reason why we have very strong graduate employment rate. At the moment, we have more than not 18 but 20,000 students on campus. Now they are not on campus; they are of course right now studying online. Out of which 3,000 are international students. So we have like very diverse student community, and we draw the students, like we recruit these students from over 140 countries. So it's not that you will only be meeting Indian students or Chinese students because of the population of these our two countries, but then a lot of other countries, like a lot of North American countries also, the students from those countries like Canada, US, South American countries, Mexico, and those countries also, students from those countries come and study at LSBU. So as I mentioned, like the campus is at one place and we are in central London. Yeah, I think we already discussed this, that we are really good at what we do. The average graduate starting salaries is 11th best in the country, and we have been awarded silver for the TEF, which is Teaching Excellence Framework. Okay. These are some of the companies that we work with in terms of internships or in terms of job shops. So every year we organize a job shop or job fair that I would say is kind of a similar setup as the education fair, if you guys have attended any. So all these companies and a lot more than this, other than these companies, come, and then they have their individual table. You talk to them, you understand what is the work culture, what kind of openings they have, and you can tell them about yourself as well. You take the contact information of the person, and then you connect with them outside the campus in their office, get the interview and get the job that way. Now this helps you in a way. So we don't have like any universities apart from India, they don't have placements like it works in India. So they won't have companies coming in and giving you jobs or taking interviews on campus. But most of universities, they will have similar facilities like this. So they do help, like we help you in understanding how everything works. We help you in preparing your resume, in preparing for the interview as well, that how you should represent yourself in front of the employer and everything. But then you have to take the interview, you have to make the first step and contact that person. Now this job shops, how this helps is sometimes you know that I want to work with Amazon, I want to work with IBM. What you don't know is whom to contact in that particular company. So this job shops, job fairs, this helps you in the kind of getting in touch with the contact person. So, and then afterwards you can contact them. These are not the only companies that we work with. We have mentioned these companies is because it's big companies and most of you might have already heard about it. We also work with a medium scale companies, like which are maybe just London based or UK based. We also work with startup, as I mentioned. So it's really up to you which kind of company you want to work with during your internship, if it is MNC or it's a small company. Yep. So our location, I'm sure if you will just Google it, you will be able to see in the Google Maps where exactly we're located if you cannot figure out from the map. But we are in the area called Elephant and Castle in Zone 1 of Central London. The name of university is South Bank, like London South Bank University, is because we are very, very close to the South Bank in here, South Bank Center, which is very famous cultural hub in London. So our schools, across these 7 academic schools, we offer more than 300 programs to international students. I will just talk about 3 schools right now, business, engineering, and built environment and architecture, is because the applied sciences, usually the programs we cover in applied sciences is psychology, biomedical, sports science. I'm not sure if the audience right now is looking at this kind of programs. The arts and creative industries, in which we cover advertising, marketing, drama, performance, game design, and editing and post-production. Now, this is important school. If you have done your civil engineering, then we have some programs under this school that might attract you. So that is structural engineering, international real estate management, quantity surveying, building services engineering, even civil engineering at master's level. MSc civil engineering is part of this program. Is part of this school. School of Business, I'll talk about this after engineering actually. So in engineering, in the School of Engineering, the programs that we offer, MSc Petroleum, Data Science, Mechanical Engineering, Electrical Engineering, and they like this kind of programs. Now, as I mentioned, that we do understand that engineering is really practical programs. That is the reason that we have 600 square meters specialized laboratories for our engineering students. And the coursework, the modules that you study under any of the engineering programs is mostly practical. So in engineering, most of the times you guys will be spending, especially at masters, is in the lab doing all the practical work and not the theories. You can also check our virtual tour. You can also take the virtual tour to the campus and all these laboratories on our website. You go to lsbu.ac.uk and just type in the virtual tour, and you will be able to see the whole all our labs and the campus accommodation houses as well, and on virtually from here itself. Some of you might also want to switch from this engineering to business. So for those students, I would say the best program will be International Business Management right here, MSc in International Business Management. Why is because it covers basics about business, and it also has 1 year internship option. So that makes it 2 years of masters, as we discussed in the beginning. Other programs like finance, accounting, marketing, and stuff, these are all specialized programs that sometimes require, the similar background. So if you are switching from engineering, the best is that you go for maybe MBA or IBM. If you guys have more questions about any specific programs, I'm sure we can discuss it at the end of the presentation. I am about to end it after the entry requirements and the tuition fees. So the entry requirements for post-graduation, if you in your bachelor's degree, if you have minimum 55%, then you are fine. You can send your documents for the assessment, and then we will be able to get back to you. In terms of backlogs, if you have 8 to 10 backlogs, considering the reattempts, you will be fine. If you have more than that, but then the overall profile is good, we will be able to assess those kind of applicants on case-to-case basis. Now, if you have done your 10th plus diploma, we do accept those kind of profiles as well. So 10th plus diploma and then degree, so you can apply for masters. If you've just done your 10th and diploma, then you can apply for bachelor's degree. Right? Other than if you, like, for example, sometimes you have not 55, but 54%, 1% or 2% less than the requirement, but then you have a good work experience. In that case, also, we can check case-to-case basis. In terms of English language criteria, so I'm not sure if all of you are from Maharashtra board, but if you are, in your 12th standard, if you have more than 65%, then we can waive your IELTS or any other English language criteria that for that matter. Same with CBSC, but if you are from any other state board, then it is 70% overall in your 12th standard English, and we can waive IELTS. If you have already taken IELTS for PG, the requirement is 6.5 overall, not less than 5.5. We also accept TOEFL, PTE, and a lot of other English language tests. Because of this whole situation of COVID-19, and I'm sure, I know that the IELTS centers are not open. You cannot take IELTS anymore right now. We have started accepting Duolingo particularly for this September and probably for January as well. And this is the criteria. For undergraduate, it will be 110 overall, and for postgraduate, it will be 120 overall. Yep, I think that is about the criteria. This is the tuition fees. So for bachelor's and master's, the standard tuition fees is £14,470. Usually, this is not the amount that you pay because we do have some scholarships in place. So international scholarship is worth £1,570, which usually most of international students get unless they are government sponsored or employees sponsored. If you are sponsoring yourself or your family is sponsoring you, then you can get 1,570 pound scholarship. And if your percentage in your master's and your bachelor's degree is really good, then you can also get merit scholarship. Now, you cannot get both the scholarship, like international and merit. You can get either of one. So if you are eligible for merit scholarship, then we will not consider the international one, but we will give you the higher scholarship. Secondly, if you pay the full fees together, I won't say together as in before the visa, even after the visa, we can give you, but just before the enrollment, we give additional 5% early payment discount on top of the scholarship. The 12-month or 1-year internship that I was talking about, you in that second year, you don't pay the full fees, is because there won't be any classes, there won't be tuition fees, but 1,035 pound is the internship fees, or it's rather the administration fees, is because for that 1 year as well, you will be in UK on university's license. So that is kind of the administration fees that you pay to the university for that 1 year. There are a lot of other scholarships than these two that I have mentioned, very program specific scholarship, and then there are some other sports scholarship kind of a thing. I have a link here. I will share it with the Internet Advice team, and then I'm sure they can share it further. For these two scholarship, international and the merit scholarship, you don't have to make any separate application. When you do normal application, we will be able to consider you for this scholarship. But if you are looking at any other scholarship, maybe sports scholarship, vice chancellor scholarship, or any program specific scholarship, then you will have to make a separate application for that. Accommodation, yeah, as I mentioned, we have already talked about this, but these four are the houses that we have, and the rent starts from 132 pounds per week. All four houses are very, very close to the university. With the farthest one is 10 minutes walk from the campus, and to confirm the room, you have to pay 300 pound deposit before you arrive. As I said, like staying on campus is not compulsory. Now, in terms of September start, so we haven't decided yet that what we are going to do. We are definitely not changing our start date. So usually the start date for September is 25th of September. And the deadline for application is mid-July. Now we are looking at extending the deadline, but still not sure. It can go to end of July, but not more than that, because then we will have a lot of time to do the precast process and everything as well. The application process, how it works is you submit all your academic documents, your personal statement, and your references, if you have any, to your consultant in your area, and then they will be able to send it to us, and we will process the application, get back to you with the offer or the decision. And then once you have the unconditional offer, you pay the minimum amount of 3,500 pound as the cash deposit. Once you do that, there is a small precast process that needs to be done. So as you have seen that we can waive IELTS, but then there will be a credibility interview. So it's not only for those students for whom we have waived IELTS. Even if you have taken IELTS, there will be an interview that you have to take. Now that credibility interview is part of the precast process. Other than the credibility interview, we will ask you to submit the documents like the financial documents, your medical certificate, basically all the documents that you submit to UKVI for the visa. You will first submit to us, Lsbu. We will assess all the documents. Our compliance team actually will do it. And then we will be able to get back to you if there is any changes needed, or if that is not as per the guidelines provided by the UKVI, and anything. If everything is fine, we issue you a cash, and then you can apply for the visa. So that is how the whole process works. I think I have done a lot of talking, and I'm sure half of you are asleep. But if there is any question, I think this is the time we can discuss the questions that you guys have.
You could have a look at the chat box. There are quite a few
Okay.
questions there.
All right. Let me see. Okay. Give me 1 minute. I will have to see. Okay.
Arna, I can help you for the questions. Okay, I will read the question. You
Yes,
can answer the questions.
Yes, Kundan,
I think
you can
Okay,
read the
what are
that
the
will be better.
yes, yes. What are the programs offered for 1 year paid internship by LSBU?
So right now we just have one program for this September. That is, as I mentioned, MSc International Business Management. From next September, we are planning to have all our business program that will be 1+1. But this September, it's just one, International Business Management.
Okay. Second question is, thank you. As a final semester examinations have cancelled due to corona pandemic, we are getting our final semester grades based on our average grades till previous semester. How will it affect on admission for MS?
Okay. So for like, is it like they are not getting the final mark sheets, right? They're yet to
Yes.
take the exam.
Yes, right.
No, they'll be getting the final mark sheet, but that won't be based on the examination. That will be based on the previous
Okay, all
scores.
right. Okay. So, see, now this is the university's compliance team is yet to take decision on this kind of queries. But if not September, then we can definitely look at January or something like that. But if this is the case for most of the students from India, then we will be able to make some decision very soon. And not sure, but we might be able to accept the mark sheets or however it is working right now, like the average grades for all the year, because I think that is the way and that is how it is going to go for this year at least. So not sure about that because we haven't taken any decision on that yet.
I also would like to ask you, are the classes online for this semester, those who take admission in September?
For September, 90% it is like, yes, online. If they are not able to travel internationally. But again, a lot of things, it depends on how soon the flights are starting or something like that. If they will be able to travel, if the international travel ban is not there anymore by September, then there will be some quarantine time that they will have to serve, maybe 15 days or something before they join the classes. If not, then yes, online is the way.
Many universities have already cancelled their classes in person and they are offering online classes, at least for this semester. And maybe next semester
Yes,
they'll take a call later.
Yes. So if something substantial will happen, like, then only the classes will happen face to face. Otherwise, for September intake, first semester is going to be online.
One more question is there regarding MS in core chemical engineering available at university.
Yes, MSc in chemical engineering. Yes, we do have that program, which is 1 year.
And regarding MBA, so how many work experience is required for MBA?
So we need minimum of 2 to 3 years of work experience. We don't have freshers MBA. For freshers who do not have any kind of experience, I would suggest them to apply for international business management and not MBA.
Thank you.
There is also a question about the cost of living.
Okay, yeah, that I think, yeah, we missed that. So because of our location, the cost of living, what UK government, or I would say what you have to show in your visa, is £11,385 per year, somewhere around like 11,400 pounds. I would say 11 lakhs in INR if you do a rough calculation. But usually that is not what you spend. Now that depends on your lifestyle as well, like how much you party and where you shop and stuff. But usually students do survive within 9.5 to 10,000 pounds on an average. So yeah, but then for the visa purpose, you must have 11,400 pounds in your bank, which has to be 28 days old. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
One more question. If student has received a conditional offer letter,
Mm-hmm.
but the final mark sheet is pending, so can he pay the tuition fees?
No, I wouldn't recommend that. Unless you get the unconditional offer, I shouldn't recommend that you pay the tuition fees. Let's just wait for the unconditional offer and try and meet all the conditions that are there. And before we make any payment, we just have to make sure that the student is holding unconditional offer.
Thank you.
I mean, of course, the final decision is of the student, but this is my recommendation that I don't recommend any student to make any payments before unconditional offer.
Thank you.
Jarna, after going there, what are the part-time jobs available in the campus or off campus? Please
So
throw
they
some light.
can do anything. Like on campus jobs are also there, but it's not compulsory like US that they can only study or sorry that they can only work on campus. They can work off campus as well, and most of our students actually work off campus because in on campus job there will be limitations. Like there won't be a lot of vacancies as well. But as I mentioned that we are in very good location, so it's like assured, I won't say assured, but a lot more, most of our students do work part-time from the second or third week itself. Once they have all the formalities done, like the RP collection, and once they start the classes, they do start working part-time immediately after the formalities are done. It's really easy to find a part-time job, and even to find jobs sometimes in that field as well. And then we also have a team who, yeah.
Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Okay, so I was telling that we also have the online job portal, Lsbu's portal, in which we advertise the vacancies that we are aware of, because we have a dedicated team who looks at the vacancies and who works very closely with the industries for all these part-time jobs, internships, and we do advertise those vacancies regularly. So students can look at those online portal as well, that they will have access to once they have the student ID from Lsbu, and apply for the jobs that way.
And how much they are earning approximately per week?
I would say, yeah, because of the location again, the minimum wage that they get per hour is 9 to 10 pounds. So that's approximately 800 pounds a week. Yeah.
There is a question which says, is there any way I could connect with the professors in the university before I apply?
Definitely, there is a way, and our professors are really keen in talking to international students, because that shows that how serious you are at your studies, that you want to talk to someone before you make an application. So just you can email me which program you're looking at, and I will be able to find whom you should talk to and pass on the email ID to you. You can email them first, and then if you want to talk over the call, you first email, do some conversation, and then you can call them. I can get you the email ID of the professors.
The internship, does the university makes any effort, or are there any placement kind of placement companies coming to the campus, or one has to look for it themselves?
Oh, okay. So yeah, I think we covered this in the job shops and job fairs that we organize every year. So it's like we don't have placements like it works in India. So there won't be companies coming in and taking interviews on campus. But what we have is companies will definitely come on campus, but then you can do interaction with them. You can understand what kind of job opening they have, what is company's growth, and what can be your own growth if you join the company at any particular post. You can take the contact information of the person who is coming from the company, and then contact them outside the campus, arrange for an interview in their office, and get the job that way. So we do help in each and every step, like we help in resume preparation, interview preparation, and stuff like that. Even we have the facility like the online portal that I mentioned about the vacancies. We advertise students have the right to have access to that portal after 5 years of graduation, like till 5 years after they graduate. Uh, so that's the kind of facilities that we offer. It's just that not that we do spoon feeding. That they have to do something on their own. They do have to contact the person and take the apply for the interview, like if they are hiring that way. I think I answered your questions.
Yes, yes. Thank you. My connection was bad in between. I missed it. Is there any concession in GRE?
Oh no, we don't need GRE. I would say most of UK universities don't need GRE. It's basically US thing. Yeah, some maybe very top universities for MBA only. Sometimes they do require in UK, but otherwise most of the universities don't. LSBU we don't require GRE.
But GMAT you require.
No, we don't. We don't require GMAT as well. So GMAT, GRE,
GMAT.
both of this is UK, US, and Canada thing. In
Yes,
UK, we just
okay.
need your English to be good, and you just have to take IELTS, pass the interview, because we take face-to-face interviews like on Skype. Even sometimes they get call for the visa before the visa as well at VFS. So in interview, we do ask a lot of questions, and then that's it. We don't need a lot of other examinations to be done.
Interviews for MS as well?
For all the programs, it can be bachelor's, master's. It's randomly from the UKVI, so it's not compulsory that all the students will get the interview, but it is in the guidelines that there will be interview. So from couple of years there is very less interviews happening, but because it is in the guidelines, because it is in the checklist, as a university we take interviews in our pre-CAS process. Like before we issue a CAS, we do take the interview just to make sure that the student is ready. Like in the interview also, we don't ask very or even the embassy very basic questions they ask, like why UK, why any particular universities that they have choose to study, and why that particular city, who is sponsoring them, like about the financials. If the parents are sponsoring, then what is their yearly income, and how many dependents does the parents have? These kind of questions. If they have decided on where to stay, the questions about the accommodation, how far the university is from the accommodation that they have chose, and what is the cost of that transportation. It actually shows that what kind of research the student has done. But like we do expect that students at least do this much research when they are investing this much money in studying abroad.
Thank you.
Yep.
Then now one more question is there regarding is there a Tesla Motors involved in the company list for the internship?
Which company?
Tesla Motors.
Tesla?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So see, it's not the list that we stick to. The list that I showed about the companies with the company's logo, that is not the only companies that we work with, and the list changes every year depending upon the vacancies that those companies are having. So I won't say it is in the list or it is not in the list, is because it keeps on changing. But the chances that if you are applying for related kind of program, maybe mechanical and something, our professors will have some link in those companies for sure.
Thank you. One more question is there. Is any chance student to get admission with or without any English proficiency test?
Yes,
Already
yes,
you have answered
definitely.
this.
If you have 65% from your CBSE, ICSE, or Maharashtra state board, 12th standard, I mean, in that case, we don't need any other English proficiency test. But then you have to show something, like it has to be either the 12th standard percentage, which has to be as per our requirement, or the English proficiency test.
Thank you.
Is anybody is having any question now?
Yeah, can you please tell us about transportation facility by the university if you want to go to the city side, town side?
Oh, okay. So yes, there are. So see, London is actually famous for its transportation facility. So there are tubes, and then there are buses that you can use. Of course, the taxis, which is very expensive. So I wouldn't recommend as a student that you should use taxis. But then local transportation is definitely there, and as a student, you get the pass at discounted rate as well for the transportation. And when you say city, if you want to move for like away from city, then only you will need the transportation. If you choose LSBU, all the places that you might want to visit is right next to the campus, very close to the campus. You might just would want to walk. If you want to see the bridge that is behind Kamendra's picture, it is, you can simply walk. It's that close. So yeah, all the landmarks, all the places that you might have seen in the movies, or if you have visited London, then you must have visited those places like the Shard, the Tower Bridge, the London Tower, or where they have kept the car diamond, and everything. It is very close to the university.
I have a question. What courses are for civil engineers are offered in masters?
Okay, so if you want to do civil engineering only, then we have MSc in civil engineering. If you want to do construction kind of a program, but then for that we need some work experience. Then we have construction project management. Civil engineering students can also apply for architecture. So we do have MSc architecture. If you want to look at that side of, civil, then that option is also there. If you want to change from civil to business, then we have IBM and business management or MBA kind of a program. Is there any subject area in your mind that you want to study?
Infrastructure or transportation?
Oh, okay. I don't think we have that specialization. We might have some module at any of the programs, but not as a specialized program. Just one suggestion that I can just Google a program and then look at the universities, because when you search for a specialized program, not all universities will offer those programs. There will be very specific universities who will have this kind of specialized programs, and then it will limit your search to those universities. So I think that's the right way to go about those specialized programs.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Students, do you have any more questions? I think, sir, questions are over. I think.
Yeah, you can conclude the program, no problem.
Yeah.
You can share your PPT and your email address so that
yes, definitely. I also have some brochures. So
Yes,
like I
we'll do
have
that.
brochure of engineering, School of Engineering, and then School of Built Environment and Architecture. I'm not sure if I can upload it here, but I can email both of this to you and with the presentation.
Yeah, fine.
Yes, take your time and please, we would appreciate it.
Definitely, I'll do that.
So students, before concluding, I have one important announcement for you. Actually, as I told you last week, we are again conducting one more session next week. Same day. Sorry. Next week, again, Tuesday, we are conducting one more session for you. Again, one university from abroad, they would be coming and speaking with you. Just I come to know from Radhika madam, if you are really interested in programs like MBAs, if you are really interested, if to please inform us or please let us know. You can contact Radhika madam so that we can arrange such programs for you. because most of the programs are actually, you know, MS based. We are actually giving more focus on PG, MS programs. We are inviting those universities only. But specifically, if you want MBA kind of options, that is also possible. So we need your feedback. So please be in touch with Radhika madam. So thank you, Jarna. Thank you very much for taking us your precious time. It was really on a very short notice. Thank you. This session was very informative, very motivating, and I hope many students would be definitely joining LSBU from this VIIT Institute. So students,
Thank you
thank you
so
very
much.
much. My special thanks goes to Radhika madam and Deshpande sir. Kamera sir, thank you very much for conducting this team. My central office team, thank you, thanks.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very
Bye
much.
bye.
Thanks a lot. Thanks, Zarna.